Bobby joint. Bobby, I get it though. You did all that time, bro. You had a few songs now. He wasn't one hit. He had some other ones that started to pop. Bobby, somebody got mad at me for singing Lucy yesterday. Man, if you don't get the fuck off my video, I wanted this whole video to be a singing comp, and I ain't play the rest of the video. That's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, Bobby, man, he done sold himself, man. He was supposed to come back and go crazy. At least that's what we expected and what we thought. But why did we expect that? Why did we think that? He ain't owed us that.
Bobby Shmurda might. We at least got to give Bobby Shmurda credit that he didn't tell. Because Young Thug, and Bobby Shmurda came out minding his own business. Young Thug came out and he started, well, not even when he came out, he was sending whispers from beyond the cell talking about like, nah, this person told, don't mess with this person. So he starts going at Gunna. He starts going at Kid Cudi even. Like people that he has no involvement with. He doesn't drop any music to build some goodwill. It's been what? Hell, has it? Nah, it's not been a year, but it's been a very long time. What are we going on? 9 months? We're going on a birth. It hit Mariah the Scientist. His girlfriend dropped a project before him. Like, are we joking here? What's going on? But the most recent one is he starts going back and forth with Rollo. And, well, actually, he starts trying to defend himself on social media first. So I'm going to read you guys those clips. This is so funny. So people were posting that this motion got posted to suppress the detective from testifying that was going to say that Young Thug had said a statement about him. He said, yeah, so he was saying he was locked in a police car and having information on a murder case. That's what this guy was saying. And then Young Thug posts this morning and says, this motion got filed because the detective lied and said I made a statement in back of a police car. Stupid. That never ever happened. Okay, whatever. But as you can see, Young Thug's going back and forth with the internet right now. Young Thug has not experienced the brute force.
Yeah, he's always been in the good graces, you know what I'm saying, of the internet. I'm Thug. Yeah, come on, why are y'all playing with me? I am Young Thug, right? He ain't never had to do, like, he's always been good. Everybody's been on his side.
Or the smackdown of the internet since he was wearing a dress. Because after that...
Oh, that did happen. But even then, that...
He was just favored. Like, everybody loved him. They're like, Young Thug's so cool. The YSL case, everyone's showing him support. He comes out, everyone's showing him support. So he's never really faced it like, yo, we don't mess with you. What you did was lame. And especially when it comes to a character trait that he believes that he does not have. So in his idea, his morals, his world, he is not telling. He is not a rat. Now, what he was sitting in there, there's a new definition for it. It's not telling. It's another phrase that we'll get to. But he goes on to say, stop trying to make me one of those boys. Death before dishonor this way, kids. So first he says you gotta go gospel if you told. We don't know if this Ooey Scooty album is going to be gospel or not. So, and then he says death before dishonor this way. And he's still breathing. At least someone else isn't typing this. But what happens is this back and forth starts with Rollo. So now let me give you guys a little bit of background on Rollo if you're unfamiliar. Rollo is one of these street dudes from Atlanta that just had a ton of money and nobody knew how. I think he had this complex of apartments that was called like Pakistan or something like that. And he was known for being Muslim and he had a ton of money and then he started rapping. So he started putting a lot of money into his raps, posting his stuff on World Star Hip Hop, probably paying for it to be on World Star Hip Hop back when getting on the World Star site was huge. Like we're talking 2016, 2017. You still got a lot of juice from being posted on the front of World Star's page. I remember to something and everyone starts calling him a rat, saying he told. Now, to be complete, and Young Thug is one of the people that distanced themselves from Rollo. Now, to be fair, I can tell you, I would say I'm a high school graduate, at least a middle school graduate, when it comes to proficiency in telling / ratting / snitching. I may even be I would say I'm a high school graduate. I have, if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, all that other stuff, it's a duck. It's obvious. Now, there's levels to identifying telling. Like, for instance, at Professor Emeritus, or Emeritus, Professor Emeritus, we're going with my first gut instinct. Like, at that tier, the top tier, you've got Whack 100. That's Professor Emeritus of telling. If he says somebody told, they told. Now, we've got a tenured professor right underneath that. So, you know, they've established their spot. That would be, let's say, a 1090 Jake, right? Like, some people say he might have fumbled with the 50 Cent situation. He's a tenured...
People don't like 1090 Jake for some reason. He seemed like he all right. I don't know why people don't. You feel me? I don't know what with the 50 Cent situation, but I hear people don't be liking 1090.
Professor, okay? So he's allowed to mess up a little bit. He can't get fired. Then you've got PhDs. And who's a PhD in telling? I would say, and not anybody that I can think of off the top of mind. But yeah, so I'm a high schooler. Now, to understand whether or not Rollo told, I couldn't tell you because it's past high school. You at least need a PhD in telenology.
You get too, like, you don't know what, you gotta really sit down with somebody and be like, yo, you don't, basically, the only thing that's not telling is being quiet. And if they say, we about to give you 40 years, you just be like, apparently that's the only thing that's not telling. You do 40 years. Let me tell you, as a normal human civilian that's not in the street, let me tell y'all how I see things, right? This is how I look at it. And y'all tell me what y'all think. If there's a situation, let's do it like this. If I'm aware of the criminal activity that's going to be happening, I am voluntarily saying, okay, I'm okay with what comes with it. So let's say like this. Let's say I'm getting it. My partner picked me up, and he has gas and he got sticks in the car. And I get in the car knowing that my partner has illegal substances, paraphernalia, you know what I'm saying? Firearms that are dirty and all that in the vehicle. I know this. And I voluntarily get in the car knowing that I'm going to be getting in there. And something happens. That's when I'm like, okay, it's the peak. That's when I'm gonna sit there and be like, it's not mine, because I know if we got pulled over and they say, who's it? I'm gonna say it's not. No, it's not mine. I don't know. I got in here. I'm a passenger. I don't know nothing about it. It's not mine. Now, if he get in there and start saying, hell no, that's his stuff. Okay. Now this is different. Now I'm gonna sit there and be like, nigga, you crazy? This is not my whip. I got no. This is not my. Nah, hell no. I don't know what I got in here. This was in here when I got in here. This is either his or I don't know. You start pointing the finger at me, I'm about to flip on your ass. I ain't gonna lie. And be like this on you. But we get in there though. But if I get in the car voluntarily, knowing all that's in there, I'm accepting the fact that if something happens, I'm gonna have to sit here and say, I don't know, it's not mine. Without saying, no, it's his stuff. Cause I'm voluntarily going in there. Right? Now, if I get in the car not knowing none of that stuff is in there, again, same thing. I basically same thing. I don't know. That's not my hell no. I didn't even know none of this was in here. Same. You can say that for the last situation too. Again, buddy start pointing. Hell no, that's his. Oh yeah, that's going out the window. I'm not gonna be like, what? No, I don't know whose it is, but it's definitely not mine. No. I got in the car. That's his junk. That's in. I don't know. It's not mine. If it's in here, it must be his. Then shit. You gonna, as a civilian, that's how you gonna get it for me, right? Basically what I'm saying is, if I voluntarily do crime or get involved in crime, and I say I know crime is happening, I'm going to come here and be in crime. I'm not saying nothing. Because I, as a person, accepted my fate to the fact that I'm going to be involved in crime. If I am not going to be involved in crime, I'm not trying to be involved in crime or anything like that. No. But I still go in there, I'm wrong. You feel me? You supposed to, if you see that and you're not trying to be around that, you don't want to be in no situation where you feel like you gotta tell or you gotta be, or you're not trying to be around that. You say no, I don't want to be around that. No, I'm not a part of that. But if you involve yourself in crime, you have to accept that. You have to accept that, and don't say nothing. You say, oh, just now. I ain't gonna lie. Until a man starts saying no, it's his. Oh, it's over with. Now I'm gonna be on that stand like this, pointing at you.
Goes in starting yesterday and says, I ain't going ish on you like you ished on me when everybody went against me. I'ma pray for you and hope we can all get this ish back together. So he's throwing subs right there. And then he sends a message to Pee Wee Roscoe and says, "You a hoe. Where you at? Let's meet so I can show the world how much of a B you is." And this is after Pee Wee Roscoe, who was the guy that Young Thug was saying was selling Wayne weed. He was the guy that he was offering him up in the tour bus situation. And Pee Wee Roscoe goes on to defend Young Thug on an IG live, but calls out Rollo. He's like, "Yo, what Thug did, that's not telling. What Rollo did is telling." And Rollo's probably looking around, and we're looking around like, "Yo, what the hell? Why'd you bring him into this?" It's not like he's popping or something. He's trying to deflect. So Rollo posts that and says, "Slap." And he says, "You know I ain't going. I don't even know why a F would play with me like that. Paint whatever picture you want of me, and I'll help you hang that ish up so I can show you how much I don't give a F." And then he posts that motion by that Young Thug replied to. So Young Thug saw Rollo post it. So this is like an internal Atlanta thing, not even just the internet. But he says, "Good morning. I just want to tell that ugly fat B, Big Jade, she owe me and Gunna an apology for how she did us. That Big B won't be able to fit them spider sweatsuits when I get done with how much ish I'm finna talk. Nothing beats a jet to Holiday." And that's in reference to this girl, Baby Jade. So Rollo says, "The big bouncer herself, back promoting parties. Are you working the door or kitchen?" And yeah, he starts going in on her.
Cook.
And then Young Thug responds to Rollo, but he just screenshots that. And then Rollo says, "Well, B, I lied to the feds for real, and you still called Lil Baby and told him to cut me off because I wasn't right. So now you gonna have to go through what me and Gunna went through, and we waiting on that gospel album too, twin." Whew. And then Young Thug replies to him and says, "See, the difference between me and you is one of your friends said you didn't lie. You actually told on real people." So that's one of his friends, or former friends. "You said that somebody actually did something that they was arrested for. I made an honest mistake saying that we sold Lil Wayne weed." So it's not telling anymore. It's not ratting. It's not snitching. It's an honest mistake. Like 6ix9ine.
Let me see. Hold on. I made an honest mistake saying that we sold Lil Wayne weed to try and prove to the detective that we wasn't beefing with him. So he's saying, "Oh, we sold." We not beefing with Lil Wayne, bro. We sold him gas. And you know, my partner.
So I wanted to do a little follow-up. Jean-Paul Maneuve is a story that we covered a couple days back. The French streamer who died during a marathon. There's been an update, quite a few actually. He had his funeral. There's been an autopsy. There's been reports. So I want to kind of go through everything one by one. Jean-Paul Maneuve, Mr. Gravin, had his funeral. And his mother, who you remember called into the stream she was texting him during the stream saying how disgusting it is. You guys are going too far.
Yeah.
She said this: "The kick streamers accused of torturing her son are great people and never abused him. I'm proud of them and I want to thank them."
The what? Say that again. What?
What do you think you heard?
That's her saying that?
That's her. "I'm proud of them and I want to thank them." This is a picture of them at his funeral. That's the mom and the two guys.
Ain't no way, bro. Was she coerced into saying that?
She said it. I don't know. How would I know she's coerced? She's saying that at a funeral. Here's some more quotes from her. "People are talking nonsense and you shouldn't listen to what they say. These are great people. We have to do our best to help them as much as possible. They are really great people because Jean was able to do so much with them. They have values. JP was able to do things with them he wasn't able to do back home." Joel went further to dispute claims that the two were violent. "They never mistreated."
3 months ago, a study was published unpacking the details of how we were all dying. The researchers collected data over 4 decades from 22 countries to build one of the most comprehensive databases of death ever. Over just the last 6 months, the job market has changed dramatically. Again. Back in the good old days of 2024, all workers had to worry about was ghost jobs, quiet firing, job washing, career cushioning, invisible overtime, application black holes, resenteeism, digital downsizing, compensation compression, burnout attrition, and when all else fails, good old-fashioned rolling layoffs. But today, the job market is dealing with a whole new set of trends. And don't worry, they come with a whole fresh list of dumb corporate buzzwords. New economic data, if we are allowed to believe that anymore, is revealing some stark realities about the ways that people are finding a job, keeping a job, and progressing in a job. Unfortunately, as you have probably already guessed, a lot of these changes are throwing young workers, and in particular young men, out of the frying pan and into the fire. For the first time ever, unemployment amongst young male college graduates is the same as non-graduates. The share of unemployed people entering the job market for the first time is the highest it has been since